Hi guys, I'm here with our first NTI lesson. Even though this is going to be uploaded earlier than April 6th to Google Classroom into YouTube, you do not have to do it until April 6th unless you want to do it early, in which case, more power to you. Okay, so today we are going to go ahead and get started by formatting our paper just the way that I asked you to in that first video you should have watched. So you're going to put your name at the top, you're going to put your class period, and you are going to put the date, which is going to be April 6th of 2020. So even if you're not doing it on April 6th, still put that date on there just to help me out. And the title of our notes today is How Are Angles Related? So we're going to be starting, this is the first lesson in Unit 7. It's all on angles and triangles. So it might be stuff that we already know, it might be new. But the first thing we need to know is that angles can be named many ways based on their characteristics. Okay, so all that means is that every angle looks different and we have different ways to name them. And I'm sure you remember some from 6th grade. So we're going to get into those here in just a second once we get this first sentence copied down. So we're going to review different types of angles. And like I said, you guys will probably remember several of these from 6th grade, but we're just going to go over them just to be sure that we're all kind of caught up and refreshed on everything. So the first kind we're going to talk about is an acute angle. And an acute angle is any angle that is less than 90 degrees. So that means it could be like 98.9 degrees. It's still going to be an acute angle unless it is exactly 90 degrees. Okay, so any number less than 90 is going to be an acute angle. Even if it's super, super, super close to 90, if it's not at 90, it is still an acute angle. An obtuse angle is any angle between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So if it is 90.00001 degrees, it's considered obtuse. Or if it's 179.99999 degrees, it is still considered obtuse, okay? But it can never equal 90 and it can never equal 180. So the two special angles we have are right angles, and those are angles that are exactly 90 degrees. So we're talking no decimals, no anything else added to them, exactly 90 degrees. And these are the angles that will have the square in the corner. So if it's got the square in the corner, that means it is a right angle. A straight angle looks like a straight line, literally just a straight line. And it is exactly 180 degrees, okay? So it's no more, no less than 180. And these two are really important for you to memorize because we're going to be using them a lot, especially when we get into our introduction to proofs and everything. So just keep those in mind and try to remember those definitions as best as you can. So right now I'm going to insert a picture of a protractor. You do not have to try to draw this picture on your paper. Just use the video and use the picture in the video. Don't try to draw it unless you really want to. I'm not going to ask you to do that because that's quite a bit. But we are going to answer some questions using this protractor where we're going to practice finding some angle measures, okay? And it's going to take, I'm going to end up talking way faster than I was writing, so I'm going to work on that throughout this video. This is kind of like my practice too, so hopefully we get better as the NTI days continue. But you are going to find the angle measures of angle AFC, which will show up in just a second. angle CFE, angle BFC, and angle DFE. And then while you're doing this, oh, sorry. Before we do that, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do one with you. So I'm going to solve for angle AFC. So the important thing to realize here is that the middle point right here is always going to be in the middle of your angle name, okay? And that you are going to use the top numbers on this protractor. And so as you can see, I start at angle A, I go up through angle C, and then I ended up right here, and I got 100 degrees. Okay, so while you are solving for these angles, I want you to think about how are angle AFC and angle CFE related. And I want you to think about how are angle BFC and angle DFC related. So I'm going to give you probably about 5 minutes to solve for these angles and to answer these questions. And then we're going to go over how to do them together. So this is going to run hopefully just like it does in class. So now that 5 minutes is going to start, now that you've had time to kind of copy down what I've wrote, and you are going to begin working on those problems. Okay, so it has been about 5 minutes, and the important thing I want you to realize about these videos is they really go at your own pace. So if you need more time, just pause it and solve the problems. If you need less time, go ahead and fast forward through it. That's fine. Go at your own pace, what you are comfortable with. I don't want you to just be copying these down because then you won't be actually learning. Okay, so I have started up here to solve for angle CFE. And I'm going to draw out the angles for you on here just in case you are a little confused on how to find the angle. Okay, so you're always going to look at the first letter and then go up here on the protractor and find it. So I've got angle C. I know that F is in the middle, and then E is going to be right here. So I went ahead and drawn that angle. And we can see that C is right here at 100 degrees, and then E is down here at 180 degrees. So that means that I have to figure out what this distance right here in between the two is. And I know that 180 minus 100 is 80 degrees. So angle CFE is not 100, it is 80 degrees, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and erase that, and we're going to look at angle BFC. Okay, so like I said, you're going to come up here, find your top letter, which is going to be B. Go down to your vertex here, which is F, and then you're going to come up to C. I know that B is right here at 40 degrees, and C is right here at 100. So once again, we're going to find that distance. Do 100 minus 40, which gives us 60. And that tells us that angle BFC is 60 degrees. Okay, so right now I want you to pause the video. And if you were a little confused on how to do these, I want you to try DFE on your own. If you got them, then go ahead and keep playing it. Okay, so I'm going to start at D, go down to F, and then go out to E. I look at D, it's right at 150. E is at 180, got to find the distance. And we know the difference between the two is 30 degrees. So angle DFE is going to be 30 degrees. So now we're looking at how are AFC and CFE related. And this is going to be kind of how we're going to introduce two new vocab terms, okay? So they are what's called supplementary angles because they're going to add to 180 degrees, okay? So supplementary is that word I'm writing right there. And that last letter is a Y, and I messed up and flipped between this page, I think, a couple times. So like I said, I am also learning how to do this, so just bear with me. But that is how you spell supplementary, and that's because 100 plus 80 would give me 180 degrees, so they are supplementary. Now, BFC and DFE are what we call complementary angles, because they add to 90 degrees. And I actually am realizing right now I made a typo. That I right there should actually be an E, okay? And they're complementary because 60 degrees plus 30 degrees would give me 90 degrees. So if two angles add to 90 degrees, they are what we call complementary angles. Okay, and we are going to write those two definitions right here on this next page. And I'm doing my best to switch between colors just so you guys can kind of separate the notes out from the example problems. And all we're writing here is that two angles are complementary. I can't remember what order I went in. Complementary if their sum is 90 degrees. So I highlighted complementary and 90 degrees just because you need to know that those two go together. Okay, the last thing you want to do is make the mistake of writing supplementary and 90 degrees because that's just some easy points that you would lose. So two angles are supplementary if their sum is 180 degrees. So like I said, just like I did up at the top, I'm going to highlight supplementary and 180 degrees because we really want to be clear on which word goes with which angle measurement because you don't want to make the mistake of pairing them with the wrong one because this definitely will be showing up on K-Prep, on your map test, on everything. So it's really important that you are clear on those definitions. And here I am just highlighting it like I said I was going to. You don't have to highlight it if you don't have a highlighter, but I would like you to underline it, put a box around it, something so that you know that that is a significant thing that you should